What's up? This is AC Wallbreaker here, and it is time for us to be epic, be legendary. If you are a first-time powerlifter who is about to do a meet but needs some tips, you've come to the right place. A few weeks ago, I did my first powerlifting meet, and it was an experience that I will never forget. There are 4 tips that I'm going to give to you to help you out in preparing for your first ever meet. 1. Foundation. The important thing that you need to understand when you're preparing for your first meet and building a foundation is you need to figure out a program that works for you in preparing for your first meet. There are thousands upon thousands of programs that you can use to help you prepare for your first meet. Going along with foundation, you need to understand that powerlifting is more than a physical activity. It's actually a mental game. So you have to develop consistency. You need to develop a habit. On top of developing a habit, you have to form techniques to how you're going to lift the weight, how you're going to approach the weight. You have to have consistency on a constant basis to make sure that you are lifting as heavy as possible. And part of that will allow you to determine what kind of openers you want to start with. When I mention openers, it is very critical that you accomplish your openers on all 3 lifts. I've seen it in my last meet where people just did not get openers because they lifted too heavy and they were stuck on it. And that could be a really grind, and that could affect how you are going to perform for the rest of the day. It is very important that you develop a consistency to determine how far you can lift, where you should start to make sure that you have a good day on your first day, which is very important to you. On top of that, if you have equipment, make sure that you are consistently using the equipment. For me, I wasn't a belt user. I didn't use the belt in my first powerlifting meet, as you can see. I went beltless. That's how I trained, without a belt. Now, some other people, they've been using belts. What I am saying is, please do not decide to use a belt if you haven't been training for a belt. If you do that, it's probably going to mess with your psyche. It's going to mess with your form because your body is so used to doing a certain thing without the belt, or vice versa, where you've been using the belt but now you decide not to use it. Make sure that you're consistently using the gear that you have on you. It will help out and carry on to your first powerlifting meet. 2, regulation. Understanding regulations is very important for you. You need to understand the rule books. You need to understand what is required for you. It is amazing from when I saw my first powerlifting meet how many people kept screwing up and not following the regulations. You need to understand what is acceptable depth for squat. You need to understand the commands, which I'll get to later. You need to understand what they are looking for the judges. You just need 2 white lights to make it a good lift. As long as you get convinced 2 judges that your lift was good, it's a good lift, you'll be feeling good, and you can move on. 3, execution. Execution of the lifts is very important, and it starts by understanding and obeying the commands. Again, it was amazing to see how many people were missing lifts because they didn't follow the basic commands. The first one that both competitions starts off with is the squat. So what happens is you get to the podium, you get under the bar, you lift the bar, you wait. The judge is seeing you having control, and what I mean by control is that the bar does not move. Once the bar does not move according to the judge, he'll tell you to squat. you squat. You go down, you come back up. Do not, I repeat, do not pause at the bottom. Come straight. Once you feel like you hit depth, come back straight up, and then you wait. You wait till the judge tells you to rack the weight. Once the judge tells you to rack the weight, you rack it, and then you get your score. Next is the bench press. You get under the bar on the bench. You'll get someone to assist you to lift, which is a good thing, which will save you energy to allow you to focus on the lift. You hold it in place. Your judge will tell you to start. So you drop the weight to your chest. You control it. You let it sit. It's a pause. Pause, bench press. So you lift it there. The judge is trying to see if you have control of the weight. Once the judge feel like you have, normally it's about 3 seconds. The max is 3 seconds. But once the judge sees that you have control and it is steady, he'll tell you to press. You press back up. And this part is where most lifters screw up from what I've seen in my first powerlifting meet. Is when they bring it back up and they put it on the rack too early like they're back in the gym. You have to lift it and hold it until the judge tells you to rack it. Once the judge tells you to rack it, you can get assistance to put it back on the rack. And that is it. The final and last command you got to worry about is the deadlift. So here's what happens. You walk up to the podium. You get down. You lift the weight up. And you have to hold the weight up long enough until the judge says to drop the weight. He will tell you to drop the weight. You have to maintain full control. You can't let go of the bar at any point until the weight hits the ground. Once the weight hits the ground, you show control. That is it. That is the deadlift. For exhaustion. Exhausting was very surprising for me. I know that the competition was an all-day event, but it's amazing how exhausted you will get when you do it. It is, you'll be doing so much. You'll be dealing with nervousness, like going to the bathroom multiple times for your first time. Like I felt like I went to the bathroom like 200 times when I was there because I was so nervous and so eager to be just to do it. You'll have the adrenaline pumping into you. You'll be moving. You'll be sitting up and down. You'll be talking to people. You'll be warming up. You'll go up to lift. You'll be checking for flights. You'll be doing so much. Bring enough food to eat. You need to bring food and water. Food and water are going to help you get through this. Or if you don't like water that much, bring something to keep your energy up, keep your energy going. But you need to eat and you need to stay hydrated because this is going to be an all-day event. And what I mean by food, don't eat something greasy that you're going to puke back up, or don't eat something that's going to make you full that you're going to explode when you lift. Eat something light enough to help you get through the day, to allow you to stay at peak performance, because it's going to be very, very important to keep that energy up so you can finish through your first powerlifting meet. Now, if you didn't understand the first 4 tips, they were free on the house, but I have a surprise for you. I have one more final tip. 5, excitation. When you go to your first powerlifting meet, you have to understand that powerlifting meet is a very supportive family. Everybody is there to support each other. Everybody's there to push each other. Everybody wants to see everybody do their best because that's all what it's about. Now you might be going there thinking you're going to compete. You are right. You are going to compete with other people, but unless you are competing with the same group of people on a consistent basis, it is pointless. Don't worry about what other people are lifting. You don't know what they're going to lift. They don't know what you're going to lift. Some are going to lift heavy, others are going to lift lighter than you. It's not fair to focus so much on your competitors. What you need to focus on is yourself. You need to focus on your expectations versus your actuations. You need to do what you are expecting to do and you need to make sure that you act to either meet those expectations or surpass them. When you do that, when you focus on yourself, powerlifting meets are fun, they're exciting, they're thrilling. You will feel your juices flowing through you to push yourself as far as you can go. And you'll have people to support you, to talk to you, to give you tips and advice if you need it. You'll even have the judges be there and say, congratulations, and thank you, you're doing an awesome job. It is a very supportive family that wants to see you do your best on your first powerlifting meet. So if you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, share this video, especially if you are a first time powerlifting meet, and if you know someone who is looking to do a powerlifting meet soon. I believe that this video will help them with some of the tips. Also, I'm on social media websites, which will be posted down below, to check me out there. Also, check out my other playlists. I talk about other stuff such as working out, doing adventures, so check those out, please. And I think you also like them too. So if you like those, please hit likes on those. So I'll be seeing you later. So remember, be epic, be legendary, and I'll be seeing you later.